How are you? This is my third interview this month, and who I have the pleasure with me tonight is Pena's Perspective. He's going to be talking about his channel, his life, all aspects of his channel. He's going to his traveling. He's brand new to my channel. I just met him about a month or two ago. So, Mr. Pena, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel. Go right ahead.
Hello, folks. How you doing? That's sort of the thing that I'm trying to set up. It took me about 3 months to try and figure something out, and I kept throwing stuff out there. All right, was already taken up. So it's all adaptations and that sort of thing. And I swing from the hip. Yeah, I am very flexible, and I try and do what I can. But yeah, my channel, Pena Perspective, it's been up for about 2 years now. My main focus of putting it up was basically a verbal or video form of my book. Okay, that's a complicated one. How did I come to the fact of wanting to write my book? I was teaching English in a class, and I've had students call me Professor Google, and anytime that they have questions, I've always got answers. And whenever they double check me, I've got a friend of mine, you've probably seen him on Jacob's show, Junior.
Yes, I think so, yes.
He's a friend of mine. So he comes up here and he questions me, that can't be true. You're exaggerating. And then he Googles it on his phone. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry, you were right again. So yeah, it's good. So they knew me as Professor Google, and whenever they'd ask questions and stuff, I'd have deep and not superficial answers, but deeper and really thought out answers. And so one of them actually said, well, you ought to write a book. And so I started thinking about that old philosophical saying that says that a complete man, a man who's finished, is someone who starts a family, gets married, buys a house, has kids, plants a tree, and writes a book. Right. Those are the basic things that we want to be able to do as a human being to make this world a little bit better. Right. We're propagating it for the next generation. We're preparing things, the trees and everything else. Why? Because it's good to plant a tree. And if you plant a fruit tree, you never plant it for yourself. You're planting it for somebody else. Right. Fruit trees are going to take 5 to 7 years to start bearing any fruit. So depending on when you plant it, you might not ever get any fruit from that tree, but somebody will. So you do that. And the last thing was the book. And so I'm like, all right, cool. I've got, 5 different books rolling through my head. One of them would be my dad's life and adventures, because he's got some serious stories to tell. Then another one would have been like Tales of a Nomad. Somebody who's basically traveled everywhere and didn't necessarily have a base. And that was kind of the story of my life, but it's like, who the hell wants to read about my life? I mean, it's my life. I thought it was interesting. Other people definitely might, but who the fuck am I? I mean, I'm not some big star or politician to say, read about my fantastic life. You'll love it. Yeah, no, not the thing. So I wanted my book to be something useful, something that people could actually take in hand and sort of unveils the mysteries of life, which was one of my focuses on how we can actually make your life a little bit better. And so there's been this quest that I've had ever since I was a kid to try and scientifically explain God and the Bible, because I was brought up my grandparents were extremely I wouldn't say religious, but they were very, very Christian, because religion has its negative connotations. You go through all your rituals and everything else, and you're okay by religion. No, it's not. It's about a personal relationship with the Creator, and that's what my grandparents brought to me. And so I'd take that to the school, and I'd have people laugh at me, and I'd have my third grade world history teacher, which I absolutely loved. She was fantastic, extremely intelligent. She taught me lots of stuff that I didn't know. And then whenever I brought up the flood, she says, oh, but that was a regionalized flood just in, the Sumerian region, and that's what brought it up, but it wasn't really global. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, this incredibly intelligent woman that I respect is wrong. And I'm going to have to prove that somehow. But I wasn't going to do that at that point. I just go, oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
So go ahead.
No, but at that point, I just had to go by and basically verify all the things. And yes, anthropologically speaking, a lot of the events in the Bible we've been able to find. The crossing of the Red Sea, we know the columns of where they crossed over, where they met on the other side. We actually see
like Jesus walking on water. I heard,
people go, but that's figurative. He was, actually carried by the people, and people are represented as water. Bullshit. He was walking on water. Whether or not you want to believe it or not, it's your freaking problem. People always have. I'd tell people about things that I've done, and they'd be like, "That's impossible." I'm going, I know it's not impossible because I've already fucking done it. Right. So whether or not you believe it doesn't make it more or less true because I've already done it. So you believing it is up to you.
Now,
go ahead.
I have a question for you. Now, with that being said, with your channel, do you see the pros and cons of doing your channel and all your life experiences that you've had to put in your channel? All your
I don't put any of my life experiences on my channel.
Okay. Problem. Good enough. Now what about your travel?
My channel's not about me. It's more about the book.
Okay.
I know that the only thing on my channel, they're 10 to 15 minute videos, sometimes 20 minutes. And I'm the only one on there, and I'm the only one speaking, but it's not about me. It's about the content that I acquired and want to give on to other people. I wanted to have kids ever since I was 8 years old. Why? Because I wanted to be able to teach them the things that I was learning.
Yeah.
A lot of adults didn't, they couldn't give me the answers that I was looking for because I was coming up with answers from various different countries and regions that, I had this bugaboo in my head, and I'm like, what does that mean? And they're like, well, I don't know. I think it means this thing. Are you sure? Take my word for it. No, I want to know. And so my things were always about proof and getting to the bottom of it. And since adults really couldn't do that with me, I didn't want, like the Bible says, do unto others you would have done unto you. So I didn't like the way that adults treated me as a kid. And so I decided that as an adult, I wouldn't treat kids that way. I also didn't like the way that adults didn't know the answers to the questions that I had. So I didn't want to be one of those, think somebody said somewhere that like the moon's made of cheese or something. Okay. If that's what you believe, that's fine. Back it up, or, we'll just have a drink and go, yeah, sure. That's another story. Great. It's hollow too, right? It's Swiss cheese. It's full of holes.
Now, I have a question. Now we're traveling, throughout your life, have you traveled around the world, and what are your experiences when you have traveled? What do you have based on your channel, life experiences, and your traveling? Has that made you more accessible to doing other things?
The word accessible, does it make me more accessible to other people? Unfortunately, no, it does not. Has it made other things accessible? That was one of the original, the idea behind it. However, that didn't pan out. And that's one of my big frustrations with life, is because all the shit that I learned is now basically meaningless. It's not, very, very early on, I found out that it's not what you know, and it's who you know.
It's who you know, right.
And so I was brought up on sort of a meritocracy, to where you study your ass off and you get to know your things, and you're better than everybody else, and that's why you get the job.
Hi, Joe's Candles.
And so Joe's Candles, Shrimp Shrek. You're all new to me because hi. So yeah, come over to my channel, I'll bring a perspective, and you'll get a new episode every 6 months. So yeah.
So I got a question for you. Now, how do you picture? What do you picture yourself doing? Maybe like 5 years from now.
Yeah, that's You told me you were going to ask that question, and that's a deep question, a question of which I should have an answer because that's what my book is about. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily have an adequate answer to that because 20 years ago I had a vision of what I'd be doing in 5 years, and 20 years later I'm nowhere near that.
Okay.
Why? Well, things change. First of all, 1 and 2, it's focus. 3, it's the amount of energy that you have behind it, and 4, one of the things that I found out, you can't really do much without somebody else's help.
Right. Yeah.
Lone wolves are great, but they get taken down by a pack of cougars, or a lone cougar is
It's good to
great.
be in a pack. I know what you're
Down
saying.
by a pack of wolves. One cougar will take out 2 wolves, fine, but 8 wolves will take down a cougar. And so, unfortunately, I have noticed over my lifetime that I ended up becoming a target. So, you're a brainiac. You study
especially
your
on this platform. On this platform. Yes.
I don't know about. I'm not new to the internet. I've been online since '95.
That part. Yes. Yes.
But as far as me being exposed on the platform, I've got 32 subscribers, so I'm not really that exposed.
Okay.
It's sort of like a future blog for my kids. Maybe whenever I'm old and dead, they'll go back. Hey, I think my dad made some videos somewhere, and let's go back. Oh wow, he thought that. Oh, I didn't even know that about Dad. So that's kind of my objective is hopefully it will be like an accessible Akashic Records, because for you to access the Akashic Records, you're only going to get yours, and you kind of have to. So
let me ask you a question about your family. How many? If you want to talk about your family a little bit, your kids, your.
I'm married. I've been married for 25. 5 years. We got married in August of '96.
Okay.
And I've been down in Brazil since '97. So June, that was '97. 24 years I've been down in Brazil. So I've got 2 boys, wonderful. One's 17, the other one's 12, going to go on 13 here next month. Okay. So where do I see myself in 5 years? I'm still establishing that.
Right.
Part of that's the whole point of my book, actually, and that's why the book's taken a while to come out, because my wife asked me, if the book is so great, then why are you still fucked up? And I'm going, maybe because I haven't completely integrated my book or not.
You're trying to have more. You want to, before you put everything on the in print, you want to experience a little bit more. You want to put your thoughts together. Is that
no? I actually have to make it. My thoughts. It's completely.
It's there. You just try
up here. The problem is that I seem like a hypocrite because I'm walking around in flip flops and living in. I've got a 20-year-old car, and I'm telling people, if you want to have success, you got to create your goals. And they're going, "How the fuck are you a success story if you're exactly what most people are trying to fucking avoid?" Sorry about the language. That's
okay.
Keep on the tone. So it's getting past that hypocrisy that I want to do. So that means that I've actually got to establish the book for myself and show that it is working for me. And so that was a reach around on my brain for a while. And I finally figured it out. I have a tendency to, and that's why I write the book, because I know that it's true, because it is the success story of so many billionaires and business owners and everything else. And there's this little statistic that states, if you write down your goals every day, and if you keep track of things and that you sort of organize yourself, only about 5% of the people in the 5 to 10% of the people in the population actually do that. Most people don't do that. And in a really bizarre thing is that those 5 to 10% of the people that represent that, you actually do that, usually represent around the 5 or top percent, or the top 5 to 10% of people. Why? Because whenever you have a goal and you go after it, you reach it eventually. It depends on what that goal is, and be careful what you wish for, because you just
Might
might
just get it. Yeah.
and that saying is absolutely true. Now, what happens, and that's one of the things that I didn't realize until I realized it, to where I have achieved my goals fully
Yes.
and completely. I just didn't remember what those goals were.
Right.
And my goals were to raise a family, be present for my family, and to enjoy my house. Three things to which, coming out of Dallas, and I helped people build the McMansions, and my dad was a home builder, and so I've built lots of different homes, and materialism in the U.S. is what drove us to do the great things that my father did. And my father couldn't do it by himself. He did it because my mom and myself, pitched in and helped him out. And the
Right.
three of us together, focusing our energy on one objective, which was usually Dad's objective. But we all kind of agreed with it because, it did us good. So why not? So all of us working together on the same objective made sure that those objectives actually came true. We realized those things, and then that's something in my life. But I also realized that there was, for example, in '95, I went to go visit a friend of mine there in Dallas, and she went by to visit a doctor friend of hers that was in one of the McMansions that her husband had built. Good friend of mine, Mark Brewery, there in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Home build. He was a home builder. Now they're both real estate agents, and actually, she's running to be reelected for mayor of Fresno in
Wow.
it's a suburb of Dallas, Frisco, not Fresno, Frisco. It's a suburb of Dallas, and so yeah, they evolve with time and everything else. Their four girls are now grown. The smallest one is actually graduated from college or going to college now. So yeah, they evolved. And anyway, I was visiting. I was along with her on the ride, and she visited this doctor in a McMansion. I mean, freaking huge, beautiful house. Those tied,
Yeah.
double ceiling, double high
Like double.
ceilings,
Yes.
and had the huge pool in the back and everything else. And so we go in, and the front door is open because everybody trusts everybody.
Right.
And we get there, and we're sitting in the living room, and then all of a sudden you hear his car come in, and he comes in through the front door, and he starts talking to us, and he doesn't actually sit down. He's walking, oh, it's over through here and this place and that sort of thing. And he goes and gets his stuff, and I see that everything's kind of kept, but it doesn't look lived in, because if things are really organized, it means there's not much life there, because if there's
Right.
life, it's not organized. Just have kids to find out how unorganized things are going to be in a hurry. And so I asked him, how much time do you spend? Beautiful house, congratulations, and that sort of thing, but how much time do you actually spend here? Oh yeah, maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep at night. If I get 6 hours of sleep, that's a good evening.
Terry.
Which means that he's living in a hotel. So if you're going to spend $1.5 million back then, nowadays, that was 25 years ago. So the house would probably be a whole hell of a lot more now.
Oh yeah.
But back in that day, it was $1.5 million house. And I'm like, how do you spend $1.5 million on a home to spend 4 hours in it? Like, well, on the weekends, he'll probably invite friends over, and it's something to show off and that sort of thing. And I'm like, how do you justify having something that you don't use? And so whenever I built my house, I decided I'm not going to be like that doctor. I'm going to at least enjoy my house for a couple of years, and then I'll go out and I'll do other things, go on and live your life. Right. Well, I've been enjoying my house now for 20 years. And it seems like life has become the pastime versus life being the pastime.
What's up, Terry?
Really bizarre. But yeah. Oh, Terry's in the house.
Trip check. Yep. Thanks for coming in.
So
let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh wow. So as opposed to Brazil, what do you find the life better, more in Brazil or in the US, or is it more
depends
diverse?
on what you consider life. People down here in Brazil think I'm fucking nuts, because they're like, we all want to get to the US. Why the hell are you coming down here? And I'm like, because I found paradise. And it's in the eye of the beholder. One of the reasons that I was actually, well, the reason I'm down here is my wife is from this town.
Okay.
But like I tell people, if she were from Sao Paulo or from Curitiba, I never would have moved down here, because those are beautiful cities. They're large metropolises and all that kind of stuff. But if I'm going to be in a large metropolis, Mexico City, I've got family in Mexico City. So if I'm going to deal with the crime, the pollution, the traffic, and everything else, I'll deal with this city that I at least have family nearby. Why am I going to move 5,000 miles and still have the same shitty quality of life, and be away from family? So that wasn't going to work. I grew up half my time in Mexico City and half my time in Guthrie, Oklahoma, population of 12,001.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's Oklahoma's country, like farm and stuff right there, right? Farms and
yeah, the road to my grandparents' house is called Bacchus Road.
Oh, okay.
It's our last name because
okay.
It's our fucking. It was before it was Route 1, and so they decided to name it Bacchus Road because it's the biggest farm on that fucking road. So yeah,
hey, Jacob.
I went, hey Jake, you're cool. So anyway, what happened was that I'd be going from the largest city in the world to basically the smallest little cubbyhole farm village that you have in the U.S. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I sort of balanced those two out, not because I wanted to, because that happened to be life. My dad is from Mexico City, and my mom is from Oklahoma. That's her family farm. And so after I was about 5, my dad wanted me to get a U.S. education, so we went up to the States. And Dad's really suffered in the U.S. because it was tougher to make money in the U.S. He was more able to make money in Brazil, in Mexico City. And so my grandfather, was like, well, if you make money in Mexico City, then why are you here? My father actually took that as an insult, going, what, you don't want me here? What, you don't want the Mexican around? Yeah, I'm going to do whatever I can do. But, I'm here because, I love my wife. That's what he took it as an insult. And my grandfather did not intend it that way. He was like, look, if you're smart, you go where the money's at.
Yeah.
There's no money on the farm. So, what are you doing here? But the thing is that it's a relaxing environment to where it counterbalances the chaos and the craziness that is a large city. So you learn to compete. You learn to, not literally, but basically you got to slit some throats, because if you're not willing to do what you need to survive, it's a dog eat dog world.
Yes,
and if you don't eat dog, you're going to get eaten.
It's like you have to fend for. It's like you have to fend for yourself, basically.
Yeah, and that's that survival mechanism, and it's extremely useful. Lots of the millionaires that we see that are nouveau riche, they made it in their life. They were usually poor people that busted their ass. And the problem is that since they were focusing on their survival, they tend to be really fucking brutal as well, because they really don't. Oh, I had it rough, so everybody else has got to have it rough too.
Yeah,
I had to do. Why can't you take it? You're just
so basically your father was seeing things differently than how you're seeing things from different.
Oh, my dad had no problems in, for example, whenever we're crossing the border, and we did that frequently. Laredo, Texas, shout out, got family down there. Okay. Anyway, anytime we'd cross the border, there's all kinds of bureaucracy that you got to go through, especially if you're going to bring your own vehicle, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So first of all, they check the vehicle, then they check your documents, then they check the vehicle's documents, then they check to see if you have the right to bring the vehicle in, then they got the documents that are nationalized so that you can be in for a certain amount of time. And so you're going through all these different attendees, people that are taking care of you. Imagine the DMV and expanding it like 7.
Yeah.
Right? So you're going in for one driver's license, but you got to get 6 different driver's licenses. And
hey, Sheriff.
The DMV really works efficiently, doesn't it?
Yeah. So especially here in Connecticut, Sorry.
Especially everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, public servants, since they don't have anything to really motivate them to do something more than okay.
Yeah.
No, you didn't fit the category. Why not? Because the rules say that you need to turn this in before 2 o'clock, and it's 2:05. I can't do this anymore. But I've been in line for an hour and a half. Yeah, but it says 2:05. I'm sorry, I can't
Yeah.
do it. Those are procedures.
But,
Next, sorry, gate
yeah.
closed.
But you know what?
Is
But
it break time?
yeah, you know what they're doing down here now, where I live here. Speaking of that, let's get off topic a little bit. Now, instead of us just going inside now, because of what's going on, I don't want to say because I already know.
Yeah, I know. YouTube.
We have to do appointments now.
Oh, that might actually work
Yeah.
because maybe they'd be a little bit more efficient because, oh, I got another appointment in 15 minutes. So, yeah, we got to get this done quick.
Yeah.
But anyway, my dad, we were standing in the first line, and Dad says, well, you guys stand here in line, and I'm going to see if I can do something. So I see Dad go up to the front of the line, and he's extremely charismatic, and he was 28, 29 at that time, maybe 30. So imagine me but better looking and really able to talk to people, which
Yep.
I can do. I'm about as antisocial as you can get.
Right. Okay.
So all of a sudden I see my dad leave that one, and he goes to another stall. And then all of a sudden my mom's going, oh, this line isn't moving. Oh God, this takes forever. And as my mom's just complaining about the line, I'm looking at my dad, and he just went to another window and another one. And I'm going, okay. And so I'm sitting there, and about 10 minutes later, Dad says, okay, let's go. I'm done. Oh, cool. And my
Miss
mom's
Southern Belle.
and my mom's like, oh, but we got to stay in this. It's like, you want to take 5 hours, or I did it more efficiently. What did he do? He's got this way of saying, hey, darling, you know what? Can you do me a favor? I just got this little thing that you need to do for me. And that little way of getting past things and getting through people and being able to convince people and being able to manipulate the things so that you can get things. Because my dad's a great salesman. The reason that I've got this house is because I was a technical arm of my dad's sales. Right. So I would install the machines that he sold. And, as part of the corporation, when the company went up, I got my pension plan from it, and I turned that into his house. Well, yeah, we divided it up 3 ways. Dad got part, Mom got part, and I got my part. So I invested it in this. So that ability, but my dad never taught me any of that. And whenever one time I actually listened to my dad doing that, and I'm sitting there going, now I'm a kid, I know. Shut your mouth. Don't say a damn thing.
Right. That's what we were taught.
But
after you're spoken to, yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, not that. But kids have a tendency to stay. And the first time that I learned it, I was 7 years old, and we were crossing the border, and we had been down in Mexico for about 2.5, 3 months, and we're crossing the border, and the border patrol says, well, how long were you out of the country, sir? And my dad says, about 2 weeks. We went down to Cancun. I'm like, Dad, we've been there for a month. My dad just gave me this look. And later on, when we got to I kind of shut up, and he explained, and he kind of finagled his way out of that one. And later on, he told me, son, they don't want to know the truth. They want to know what they want to know. And so you tell them what they want to know, and anything that's outside of that, you will have problems because it's outside their parameters.
Yeah. Because they want to be like a little box. It's like a little, they want to just sit.
Everybody's in a box. And
yeah.
So my dad knew that the majority of people, they're doing that, family types of thing. Well, they're on vacation. So how long were you out? If you say a month, well, that's not a vacation. Nobody takes a vacation for a month unless you're European, right? Mm-hmm. And so the answer is 2 weeks. Where did you go? Where do people aren't going to vacation in Mexico City. You don't go to Mexico City for vacation. So the next answer is Cancun. So at that point, I realized my dad didn't really have that much of a problem with lying. And I understood exactly why he did. I, however, do have a problem with that, which is why I'm not as successful, which is why I'm much more antisocial, which is why I'm an irritant to most people. Because I don't like to lie. It's just, I'll do it if I have to. And that's
Thanks for sharing, Southern.
I'm human after all, but I prefer not to make it a habit, or to get my benefits from that. So that's a whole nother thing.
Right.
So okay, we're at Drones Travels
Yeah.
and
Harry Jones Travels, Sheriff.
Buford, Sheriff Buford. Now that reminds me of a Smokey and the Bandit.
Yep.
There you go. I mean, I loved Burt Reynolds because, and I have had a love affair with Trans Ams ever since.
Right.
Absolutely fantastic. That thing marked my life. Not as much as Star Wars, obviously,
Right.
but Smokey and the Bandit was pretty up there, along with Dukes of Hazzard.
Right. I got a question for you. Have you met
Yeah.
anybody in your travels? Anyone famous in your travels? You know, just from traveling, or anybody
Well,
inspired you to do what you were doing? Inspired, any inspiration from what you're doing now?
no, I don't. I haven't gotten any inspiration from any of those do nothings.
Anybody famous that you met? Any that we know?
Yeah, I shook the hand of the president, Portillo, Luis Portillo. He was the president back in '78, and so we were in a county fair in Querétaro, and the president actually came by, and I was a little kid, and so he
Sheriff
came up.
said, "Yep, he agrees with you." Sheriff said he agrees with you. Yep, Smokey and the Bandit and Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard. Those are the two things that they. Yeah, flying over that, the ravine.
Yeah, right. So you met the president. So you actually met the president. Anybody else should you meet? Famous,
I saw Mikhail Gorbachev in Paris when he was there, but that was in the motorcade and everything else. He was sort of waving across. There have been a couple of people but it's not significant. It's like, oh my God, I met Mel Gibson. Oh my God, life is gonna change now. How
I just want like anybody famous in on your travels that caught your eye.
Yeah, no, famous people really don't catch my eye that much, and where I've gone isn't really where famous people go. Because the majority of the travels that I've done were under my dad's arm.
Right.
Okay. So the person that I am now is everything I was before I came down here.
Oh.
All the great things that I did in my life anyway were before I came down here, when I was part of my father's entourage. And that being the case, it was a fantastic life in some aspects. In other aspects, I didn't have a stable home. I didn't know where home was because we rented here and we rented there and we rented in the other place. And, before I graduated from high school, I think we had lived in probably about 15 different houses and apartments and that sort of thing. So one of the things that I wanted to establish for my kids was stability.
Stability, right. You want to have your own home, stay in one place. Same, I guess the same job, not the same job, but different things you want to do, but you want to stay in the same place, but branch out pretty much. Is that what it is?
I just wanted them to have a base, something that I didn't necessarily have. Yeah.
Miss Southern Belle said she wants to meet a movie star. Yeah. I would love to meet. That's what she said. She'd like to meet.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm reading that text and I'm trying to break it down to where I'd be able to answer that.
Yeah, you're trying to answer. I know you're trying to answer
without sounding like a complete douchebag that I might be.
Hi, holy cow, girl.
Whenever we see the movies, 15 years ago, I was starstruck. I went to go watch the movie Beowulf. Really not that great of a movie.
What was it called? Beowulf?
Beowulf. Okay.
I think I heard of it.
So it was I would say a B movie, maybe even a C movie. But the thing was that it was CGI, sort of in the beginning of CGI and that sort of thing. And they had actually made a mold of, it was a CGI of a completely undressed Angelina Jolie. So you bet your ass I watched that movie 2 or 3 times because Angelina Jolie was the dragon. Okay, and she was completely covered in gold, but she would appear to the king as this perfection of a woman, right? And then out of the water, you'd see her tail and everything else, and she'd transform later on. Whenever they did that with her, she would have her own little dragon babies from the king. Not dragon babies, they'd actually be giants. Now, depending on the ability of the king, they would be deformed or good or whatever. And so the giant that came from the king before was completely deformed because the other king was immoral and all that kind of stuff. But so it's definitely a B movie based on some serious mythology that is adhered to in a couple of cultures. And so in Viking mythology, the Beowulf story is prescient, it's educational, and it's part of their intrinsic background. And it was shoddily done, but Angelina Jolie was in it. Oh my God, I gotta see it.
All right. But like all in all, so now how's your experiences on YouTube? Like all in all now, pros and cons of it. How do you fare from it so far?
I didn't get on YouTube until I saw that Jake was having some success with it, and our channels were okay, and I was starting to figure it out. Yeah, I had videos like Jacob mentioned. I was doing videos before Jacob, but I started doing them after October. Yeah, why? Because I posted them on Rumble. Actually, I started off on Facebook because I posted about 5 of those videos to test things out, to get people's reaction to it, the format, whether it was okay or not, or whether I just looked like a complete jackass and give up on that crap.
Sheriff, speaking of doing things, right, and people, Sheriff met Blackberry Smoke, Van Halen, Home Free, Neil McCoy, and Joe Diffie.
Well, that would be good. The only one I know is Van Halen and Eddie. May he rest in peace. It's been a year now.
Yeah.
A year now. I've watched. Oh, why? I would have wished I had backstage passes to all the concerts that I went to. I mean, I went to more than 20 concerts, and in a 2.5 year time span. And so I was going to concerts a lot. So yeah, I would have loved to have met John Bon Jovi, Eddie Van Halen. Alex, he was on the drums. He was okay, but Eddie was awesome. And you just know, I don't know, Sammy Hagar is okay, but I didn't like him as much as.
It was funny because I remember when he left, Sammy Hagar came and replaced David Lee Roth. I remember when I saw the first video was Jump, right? Mm-hmm. And that was like the #1 thing on MTV at the time.
Oh, that's what got me, Jump.
Right. And as you see through the years, right? Sammy Hagar, which I think he's a great vocalist. Don't get me wrong, he's awesome. I just feel that I'm looking at this and I'm like, I like both.
It was less crazy. It's more of an old man band.
Hi, DP. DP's in here.
Hey, DP. Hey, I've missed a show with you twice. Yep. I've tried to get on with Exploring with DP, and both times I caught you at the end of your transmission. So yeah.
Here's this. Sheriff said, the original Hawaii 5-0. He met Jack Lord for the original Hawaii 5-0. Wow. Okay.
That would be cool. Jack Lord. Interesting.
He met Jack Lord. What's up, DP?
But for example, if we were to met Jim Caviezel, it would be, in its essence, nothing more than a passing encounter. You'll shake their hand. You'll tell them, "Oh my God, I thought you were great in The Passion of the Christ." "Oh yeah, thank you very much. I've suffered because of that movie, but I'm glad that you're a fan, and make sure that you watch my upcoming movie. Thank you very much, and have a good day." "Oh my God, I talked to Jim Caviezel. He changed my life." What changed your life? What about that interaction or that conversation actually made you more or less of a person? It's just an interaction with another person.
You know who I met? I met John Cena some years back, and at an autograph signing. John Cena, WWE wrestling.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Oh well.
Ooh, but I did get an autograph. From one of my favorite actresses. In fact, she's such a great actress that she opened up her own production studio.
I'm curious.
Tori. Her production studio is Vivid Productions.
Tori Spelling?
No.
Okay.
That was no. Tori.
Productions
Just
touring.
look up Vivid Productions and anyway.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I got it.
Yeah, we're not going to go down that one.
I don't want to go. Yeah. We don't want.
She signed an autographed photo for me and answered a couple of questions that I had about her, and so yeah, that was a great interaction, and I learned a lot.
Oh, you know what? You said Vivid. I caught it. It took me a little bit to say Vivid. I'm thinking about it. I was like, okay, because it took me a second.
Yeah, because obviously you're not into porn.
Yeah. Well, I heard of it. I know what it is. I heard of it, but we won't go down there. We won't go there. That's a whole different.
I know, but that was a famous person that I got an autographed picture of, and I was just blown away. And it was a life altering experience.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. What are you gonna do? You go into a strip club and you see your favorite artist there. I mean, come on, you're gonna have that signed autograph thing. That's what you got to do.
Right. So, guys, 8:00 we'll be having an open panel. So we'll get 2 more minutes of Pena. Then 8:00 will be open panel, Mr. Pena. So I just want to let you know. But 8:00 we'll do open panel for a half hour, and then
all right. Okay, that will work.
Yeah.
No problem. But I thank you, Elena, because it's fun. Miss Southern Belle, how do you meet a cartoon character?
No, at Mickey Mouse. The Disneyland, Mickey Mouse, Disneyland.
Yeah, I've been there. Been both to Disneyland and Disney World.
Right.
That wouldn't be Mickey, but yeah, okay. I've met Mickey. I've met Donald. I've met Pluto, and Goofy. I've met Chewie, and I also met what was the that captain from the fourth new Star Wars movie that Disney fucked up. What was it? The planet.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
The new Disney fucked up versions of Star Wars, right?
Well,
so there's. Hey, Jacob. And so there's this character in there that's like a stormtrooper that wears all this silver stuff. So yeah, I met that one because they 3 times a day they walk straight through. All of them in lockstep, and you're going, oh my god, it's the stormtroopers! Yay!
Yeah, guys, we got Jacob Waters off. What is it? Off what set? I don't know.
Offset. In other words, he's
around. Yeah, guys, that's Jacob Waters. He was my first interview.
No. Jacob's always got these tough questions. No, I can't talk to him. Complete strangers. No, I can't deal with strangers.
Yep. Oh, Sheriff says, I think we all met the characters at Disney.
Yeah, not all of them. I didn't meet Snow White or Cinderella.
Or the 7 Dwarfs.
True. I always liked Dopey, and I've always been compared to Grumpy.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, sure, whatever. But Doc was always fun as well, so that is what it is. But yeah, Pooh Bear. I met Pooh Bear there at Star Wars. So that Star Wars at Disney. The problem is now, and that's the thing. Whenever the 17th letter, mentions all our favorite heroes are going to be brought down to earth because we're going to find out exactly how sick and twisted each and every one of these people are. And therein lies a problem with idolizing and raising people up and thinking that they're more than, why? Because John Bon Jovi, actually, the more I learn about him, he is a decent person and everything else. It's awesome. However, you meet some of the like Hopper, not Terry. Sorry, Terry, you're good folks. But I think it's Dennis Hopper is the
Hi, Divine Tiffany.
Divine Tiffany's in the house.
Yes.
So I think it's Dennis Hopper. Some people have said that he's not necessarily that nice of a guy. I don't know. I like his movies.
Oh, and Terry said, huh?
Yeah. I mentioned your name, Hopper. But wait, in Bambi, it was Thumper, not Hopper. That's right. switching around.
Oh,
No, it's
I caught that
completely
one. I
lost.
just
He
caught
has
that
no
one.
idea what we're talking about now.
Cut that one. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, guys. For all those who just came in, just doing an interview with Penis Perspective, and if you missed the first part of it, you'll have to go and rewind it because we'll be doing open panel pretty soon. So.
But yeah, because we're not going back. We got whole new questions going forward.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, getting back to the original question that you asked in the very beginning, we have objectives in life and everything else. And so where I see myself in 5 years, it's something that I've been building over this last year and a half, 2 years. Because this book is the new direction that I'm trying to take my life into. Being able to help other people with the information that I've gleaned over the years. It's useless if it all stays in here and it does nothing for anyone else. And so there's lots of information that I have that could help other people. The problem with that I can't do a show the same way that Jake does. And somebody asked this the other day. That I'm too diffuse, and unless somebody asks me a specific question or something else, I just go off on all these different tangents, and to such a profundity that it becomes just a mass of guck. Kind of looking at the three-dimensional reality that we're all used to, but stepping out and looking at it quantumly, it all becomes this whole big ball of goo, unless you look at specifically each one of the individual things that are in it. And that's wherein I need people to ask me questions to where I'm like, oh yeah, that. Well, here we go here, and this one we go this way, and that you do that this way, and this is the other thing that happens with that. Okay. Otherwise, I'll be going on 17, and I'll be going on China, World War III, and let's go Brandon and Fauci in jail. Basically, all of those things, but that's why I enjoyed this one. You wanted to touch on topics that got me to where I am, and I think that's somewhat interesting. Because I still don't think of myself as an adult. I mean, it's really fucking bizarre. I'm 45 years old, but I don't see myself as a grown-ass man. I still feel like I'm 18, 19 years old and shit and still doing stupid garbage. But, it is what it is. Your life sort of teaches you things, and you do. Now, I've got my 17-year-old son going, what were you guys before? Because you're a boring pain in the ass now. And I'm going, well, it didn't used to be, son, but kind of life does that to you.
Yeah.
You get kicked in the shins enough, you start, wearing body armor, which is where my antisocial thing comes from. It's body armor. It's soul armor, because it's just dealing with people. I was always brought up with be the best and everything else because, we look up to the champions and we look to the champions and number one and not certain. Okay, great. So we go
people you idolize, you want to think the best of them and you want to see.
Supposedly, but whenever we are those big ones, everybody else wants to take us off our spot, wants to rip us down, wants to destroy us in any way, shape, or form because they want to be where we are. They're not happy for us being there. Yep. And so that sort of threw a wrench into the whole idea.
Southern Belle wants to know before we wrap up, do you believe in ghosts?
Why wouldn't I?
Jacob!
Yay, everybody loves Jacob.
Yes. Hey, Jacob.
Sorry for my tardiness. I apologize.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. That's fine.
No, I've been listening to you guys on my phone. I can't comment or anything on there.
Yeah, that's okay. No, it's okay. Because we do.
No, you say that everybody was waiting for you, Jacob. I was just a filler.
Yeah, okay. No,
guys, if this guy down here, Jacob Waters, I did an interview with him a few weeks ago. Make sure you go check that out. He's been so good to me and Jacob.
And that's why I was trying to get the two of you connected since you started doing interviews again.
Yeah, so guys, make sure you follow Jacob and Penis Perspective. I mean, they've been very good
actually,
to me.
if you follow Jacob Waters, you'll probably have more of my content than what you will following my channel because I'm on Jacob's channel every Thursday. And so I've produced more on his channel than I have on all mine. Mine is focused on, explaining some different things from physics.
My Penis Habit.
And the next focus, there was a point on the channel to where I'm like, all right, God, I want to switch this to the spiritual, but I don't know how to make that pivot. I'm trying to take this science thing and get it to a point where we can talk about, because once you get to the spiritual, we can start talking about the psychological, and we can start talking about the psychic, and we can start talking about how we change our mindset to make the things that we need to happen, right? And so I was trying to figure out how to make that pivot from science to religion or spirituality. And then I got onto Jake's channel, and my channel was all about science.
Right.
And then I get onto Jacob's channel, and even Terry goes, but since you've been on there, the only thing you talk about is God and the Bible. And I'm sitting there going, but I talk about so many other things on my channel. So I didn't know how to make that pivot. And that's where God is great. He said, hey, hold my beer. And he made me do the pivot without even thinking about it.
Right.
Because having that pivot to the spirituality is just unleashing me and not pinning me into something that I might be self-aware about or something else. If I'm going to be talking about chemistry, be careful, because I don't want to say anything that's not true. And science is very specific and it is detailed. There is a right and a wrong. It's not relativism unless you get into quantum mechanics and all that kind of stuff. And Schrodinger's cat and that sort of stuff. And that's a serious mindfuck. But I figured that one out as well. Because in a quantum universe, all possibilities happen and all times exist at the same time. So the thing is that all things happen.
Yes.
But which one of them you are going to experience depends on your individual choice.
Right.
Now, are there 3 million versions of you? Yes, there are probably more.
Yes, there is.
However, there's only one you. You that made the decisions. That
you control your destiny. You control your life. You control your personality. Yeah.
But see, there are multiple destinies from the day that you're born. And throughout your lifetime, you will make different choices. Now, the fact is that when you're born, your essence, that baby with all the potentiality, will make every single choice. Will you experience that? No, because am I going to wear red or blue today? I don't know. I'll go with blue today. But there's a version of you that's going to go with red, and that's going to give them other experiences in their life and that sort of thing. And at that point, both of you break off into multiple realities, multiple dimensions, right? Because all of them exist. All of the options that are laid before you will be taken in one way or another. Some of them in a higher probability, some of them in a lower probability. Will I ever eat a cat turd? Most likely not. However, there's probably a 1% potentiality of some guy, tell me, hey, I got a payday. Those or what was it? Butterscotch. There was this chocolate bar in the States that if you took the wrapper off and put it in the pool, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But it was an absolutely fantastic chocolate bar. I don't remember what it is right now, but seriously, it looks like. So yeah, it could be. I could eat a cat turd by accident. 1% of the probability of all the realities, but 99% I won't. However, even that 1% will be another reality. There's some version of me that went, well, that's not chocolate. What the fuck are you doing? The other 99% of me went, are you freaking nuts? Get away from here. I wouldn't have done it, but there's one version of me that said, ew.
Yeah.
So even that is real. All of them exist. Now, how do we, all of the potential destinies that we have, they're all going to be realized. The problem is that which one of them are you going to realize?
Right.
There's a version of me that actually graduated from MIT, and there's another version of me that graduated from Harvard. That guy's a real fucking dick. And the me that graduated from MIT, man, I became a genius and I freaking changed the world, man. Let me tell you. But only for my benefit, and I became extremely more self-absorbed than what I am now. So all those potentialities exist.
Okay.
Now, did I experience any of those? No, because I made a choice to not indebt myself with what would be the equivalent of my parents' mortgage before I even graduated from college.
Right.
So that was a really big drawback. Now, later on, I found out about 3 or 4 years after I graduated college, I was reading a story about an MIT graduate who financed all of his through grants and everything else. He'd do 5,000 on this one. Oh, you've got something for left-handers, and if you were born in March, you have another $2,000 for this. And no, if you were from this particular neighborhood, there was somebody that gave a grant for people from that neighborhood to go there, and he'd grab all these little different grants and put them together and paid for his education. Now, I was 17 and I was asking my mom, who was a financial analyst, she was an accountant at the time, and I said, Mom, I need help with this financial aid stuff. And she's like, well, you figure it out. It's no big deal. I'm sitting there going, okay, she's 30 something and a professional in the area, but me as a teenage high school kid, I'm supposed to fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. But yeah, that actually did help me because I didn't want that debt, even though I would have loved to have had that. And I audited the classes for about a month. They allowed me to do that because they wanted me to go to each one. I was accepted to both, and they wanted me to go, and so I audited their classes, which is why I know how I would be at Harvard, because they got bad. So yeah, Jake, sorry, run and gun. So yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. No worries.
Jake,
I'm glad you.
He's still on here though, isn't he?
No, he is. He just dropped a line on the.
Yeah, I'm hearing the background. I've just been listening, but I don't have much time. I'm doing dinner and stuff at the same time, and kind of bouncing around.
He's got a full schedule, and he only does things after like about 3 hours from now. Yesterday he went live. What was it? 11 o'clock my time, which is 9 o'clock Central. And we wait until
right after bedtime is when I'm more accessible. Right after the kids go to bed,
Exactly. So
I'm glad you're up here, Jacob. Thank you.
Each one of them has their own little room, and they've got their internet connection and everything else. So yeah, I don't.
Two of my favorite people doing an interview together. I had to stop by.
No, well, thank you very much. I know you love Elaine. Who's your other favorite person? You love yourself.
All right, guys,
the guy that I allow to come back on my channel when he picks on me like this all the time.
Jacob, you're gonna be live tomorrow?
Yeah, man. We got our regular show on Thursday.
Can I come up? Can I come up?
Oh yeah, usually
we
usually open up the panel, and he runs this show. He knows.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like Andrew Basiago. It's my show. I'm not gonna let you on.
Oh, your dangerous words.
Right. Listen, guys,
it's no one with third rails, Jacob. I know.
Pena, we're gonna do open panel now. Okay, so we're all okay. So just want to let you know.
I'll see you guys later.
All right, bye guys. Thanks much. I'm gonna drop the link.
Jacob, appreciate it. Love that guy.
I know he was busy because he was doing dinners. That's okay. So at least he came up. I'm so happy he came up, though.
No, he did. No, I love that guy. He's pretty cool.
All right, guys. So I'm doing open panel now. I'm going to put the link in the chat. So if you guys want to come up, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pena's Habit, Joe's Candle. I got to catch up on the chat because.
Yeah.
Anyway, kind of, sort of.
And Pena, if you ever want to talk about more stuff, down the future, let me know. I'll have you back up again for another time.
No worries.
Yeah.
I've got so many stories.
Yeah, because maybe we'll do another, maybe in a weekend we could do it like after. I was thinking maybe after Halloween. Maybe
after Halloween, after we can do it on All Saints Day. It'll be my day.
Right. Yeah, but guys, like I said, this is Pena's perspective. I did interview him, and we did it earlier. So if you guys missed the first,
we're on an hour now, 58 minutes. So yeah, you mentioned that's what you were going to be running on.
About hour and a half. So we're doing an open panel now. If you missed the beginning of the interview, just go back and replay it later. And this is Pena's perspective. We just did an interview with him. So now we're doing open panel now, and so. He'll be back up again too, because he's got more stuff to talk about, but because of the time and everything, you
Well,
know.
see, since now that it's an open panel, I can ask questions. Miss Southern Belle, where are you from, darling? Because I love me a Southern Belle.
Right? Yeah.
But
Is Jacob going live tonight or no?
Who is?
Jacob going live tonight? Did he say tonight or tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. If he does, it'll be within 2 or 3 hours from now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
After everybody's down. But he might, but I'm not sure. Because the only time that I'm fixed on there is Thursday. I clear out Thursdays to make sure that I'm available for that. However, yesterday and on Tuesday, he called me up and I ended up going on as well. Not a problem. I enjoy it thoroughly. And he's got interviews on Saturdays and Fridays. And whenever he gets the hankering and he's got somebody that he wants to interview and, I got this guy and he's going to call in, and that he just goes on. And he'll go on for 5, 6. He's got one that's 10 hours long. I mean, holy cow. So, it goes on a while and it's a nice conversation. I enjoy it. And that's one of the things I sort of let loose on his channel, whereas on mine, I don't. I'm completely structured. Why? Because I'm self-conscious. I'm extremely self-conscious and I'm extremely judgmental, which means that I judge myself. Yes, I judge other people, absolutely, but I judge myself harder than I would anybody else. I do a whole hell of a lot more from myself than I would most other people. But that has changed over time. Being a football coach, you learn to deal with each one's potentiality, individuality, and then their perspectives and what they need. And it's not about necessarily, I want to win the game, but I want the individual player to improve so that the performance of the team as a whole will grow. And so at that particular point, I'm focused on the individual and getting the individual better. And so sometimes it's psychological, sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's, just the maneuvers and getting into the specificity of it. Sometimes it's foot placement. Sometimes just getting your head out your ass and running more, you lazy little piece of shit. All that is involved. It's my athletes, they remember me because I'm used to make them do push-ups. Anytime they did something wrong, because I remember from my high school days, drop and give me 20. Basic thing. You talk back to the coach, you're doing push-ups, bitch. That's just what you're going to do. Either that or you're running laps. Either way, but you're not doing something fun. And so I made sure that my students, my athletes, whenever they did something stupid, they missed a ball or something else, I'd make them do push-ups. Why? And it's not like, no, think about this. Do the push-ups well because it's exercise is going to increase your capacity to do what you need to do. And while you're doing that, think about the stupid shit you did and try not to do it again. Think about who did it, what happened. It's basically a minute and a half to where they can focus on what they did and try and change it without sitting there in the corner going, well, what did I do? I don't know what I did. No, they're pushing, they're building their body and everything else, but at the same time, they're counting and going, I could have put my hands closer together. I could have looked at the ball earlier. I could have, run my route a little bit more cleanly. I think they might think about these things. Usually they're going there, damn coach, I can't believe this. 5, 10, 8, 15, 20. Okay, I'm done.
Right.
They invent the numbers and then I'll be looking, but you did 12, but I counted 20. All right, so do another 20 and count them out this time, and I'm going to have somebody counting with you. Man, they were pissed when I did that. They got seriously pissed when I did that because I don't want people to lie. The people that manipulate, lie, cheat, and steal, that really chaps my hives. But and unfortunately, there are so many people that are like that. Mm-hmm. People will say whatever it is that they have to say to get what they want to get. Mm-hmm. And there's just something inherently wrong with that. But it won't be defended by society. Why? Because people who lie, cheat, and steal get ahead. Just look at the do-nothing, dumbass dementia patient that is the resident in chief right now. He lied, cheated, and stole his fucking way to the most powerful man on the planet.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, we have to
he can't even eat a freaking ice cream cone without, fucking something up because the guy is completely freaking brain dead. And even when he had 2 brain cells, they went in the wrong goddamn direction. Yeah, I'm not going to get on that one.
Right.
I'll get all kinds of.
Yeah.
But then again, the Antichrist is coming in, and so everybody's going on to up. But you told me we didn't want to talk about religion very much, so we'll get back to making people do push-ups.
Right. Yep. Well, a religion thing I don't mind, but I mean there'd have to be more. Like next time I do a live stream, like a little more in depth. Next time we have a little more time. That's more.
Oh no, not a problem. And specific questions like. One of the questions that usually takes me about 40 minutes just to answer is, where are you from? So, that's a good one right there. Mm-hmm. We kind of covered that, but there are so many aspects about both cultures and growing up in both of those cultures and finding a balance, but then, I start becoming associated with born in East LA. I was born in
I remember this. Yes.
It's like this, man. It's like so good.
Right?
It's like so easy.
Yeah.
It's like I got the beans and the brownies and I just beaners and beaners. They like eating beans. So in order to avoid that sort of, there are lots of preconceived ideas about so many different things.
Right.
And then
Bye, Miss Southern Belle. Nice to meet you too.
Thanks, Southern Belle, but you never answered me where you were from.
Oh, I think she's from down south. I don't know. She said, "Nice. I got to go." Nice.
Maybe I gotta go back up there and see if actually. No, I asked her. She didn't tell me.
I don't know, but she said she had to go. But she said, "Nice meeting you."
Yeah, and she also said, wear your armor, wear the full armor of God. That is in Ephesians 6, I believe. So, yeah, that's a true armor. And then you won't be afraid to actually talk to people. And, yeah, we got Terry Hopper talking about Dennis Hopper's career, and that was about an hour ago. So, because that was shortly after Terry Hopper came in and said, somebody mentioned my name. Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is. Right. But yeah, Southern Belle, I am curious to know where she's from. Why? Because Southern Belle tells me the Carolinas or Georgia, maybe, but it's most likely Carolinas. But you can actually have a Texan that's a Southern Belle as well. Right. Oklahomans might consider themselves a Southern or Southwestern Belle, I guess, kind of, sort of. So yeah, but I'm curious because that's a mentality. We got away from the gentrification of life.
Right.
Oh, my darling, you mustn't say that because that's uncouth. What would your mama think if you did that? You got to remember, everybody in town knows what you've been doing. So you got to be careful with who you talk about and what you do, son. Can't do that. It's a dangerous thing. You got to think about people in your community, what they're going to think about you on Sunday morning when you're at the potluck. You don't want to be standing out in the corner by yourself because nobody wants to talk to you because you did that. Wow. Really strange stuff you did on Saturday. I won't say nothing, but I know, and I think everybody else knows too. So I recommend you stop doing that now. It's a whole nother way of dealing with reality, with life. And if we could get back to that, it would be much healthier than what it is today. Yeah, we got our freedom and everything else. Everybody can do whatever they want. And, you got a gold medal winner that now wants to be a governor under completely different circumstances than what they were when they were a gold medal winner versus now when they want to be a governor. And that's just a bizarre thing.
Hi, Survivor Girl.
Survivor Girl. Okay. Yeah, that's not a good thing. But I'm assuming that was back in 2019.
Yeah.
Thanks
for sharing.
But right now, we are all fighting a cancer called Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That is actually, those are just the symptoms. The real cancer is Barry. But anyway, that's right. We're not going to get into that. I forgot.
It's
about
okay.
that.
No, it's all right. It's okay. Like I said, you know what? If we're to have that kind of talk, we'd have to have a little bit more.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that half of that isn't allowed in Censormania 2000. Why? Because and see, that's the thing. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. For us to think that these people, without oversight, are going to continue to be good people, remember, they're going to tell you whatever the hell it is that they think that you want to hear. Like Hillary once said, I have a public position and a private position.
Yep, code words, guys.
Something that I'm going to tell the plebes and something that I'm going to tell the investors. And they got nothing to do with each other. And
she's not either. Yeah, I know Survivor.
That duplicitous reality. So yeah, I'm sure. So we're not going to.
We're not saying too much. We'll talk. I mean, we're using like code words. We're not like in too depth about it tonight, but we're using.
Well, we have to. I learned from Marfugal News. Why? Because other people who didn't. In October of 2020, there were about 8 channels that I used to love to follow on YouTube, and they got taken down the same day or the same week.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm flipping through YouTube, going, I got nothing to watch. Because all this other garbage is as boring as all freaking get out. Or it's slanted to one side to where it makes me want to vomit and puke because it is the Antichrist spirit just coming out of my screen going, I'm not going to say the words because I don't want to summon the demon itself because people think it's good and it's fun. Yeah, let's all be superficial, Ellen degenerate loving type people. But anyway.
Yeah.
There's a reason her name is not an accident. I guarantee you. Okay. It's all symbolic. Like Lady Gaga. I mean, there's symbolism behind her name. There's also, if you watch Jacob Israel, you'll understand that that little Swedish girl's blah, blah, blah also has something symbolic.
We have to say blah, 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 right?
No. That's actually what she said.
Blah, blah, blah. Oh.
Yeah, she said, save the environment, blah, blah, blah. Inflation, blah, blah, blah. It's just words. Tell us what we want to hear, and we're going to save the planet, blah, blah, blah. And she was just all bitchy. But the thing is that blah is actually in gematria, supposedly it breaks down to 6, and it's also another way that they used to mention about some the original the guy who built the Tower of Babel, Nimrod, that sort of stuff. That's a whole other story. But Survivor Girl, call on in because, no, maybe not because you're still hung up on that line. Yeah, whatever. Because frankly, I probably would have said that too. And the guy who actually shot somebody a couple of days ago, I guarantee you that he said something similar to that as well. Just he never allowed it to be public because he's of a sack of shit. But he got what he deserved. That's fine.
Anyway, right?
Well, he will anyway. Maybe not. Maybe he'll just plead it down to involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah.
Who knows? Whatever.
I know, right?
He'll get off. It just depends on who you pay and who you know. And none of Hillary's Flynn's actually go anywhere because they're all free. I mean, just look at Jeffrey. He was free for 35 freaking years doing whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah. She named herself after a Queen song, Radio Gaga. Yeah, I know. That's what Lady Gaga. Yeah, that's true. She did.
Yeah. So everything's symbolic.
Yep. Guys, like I said, if you didn't catch the interview the first hour with my good friend here I just met about a month or so ago, Penis Perspective. We're talking about a little bit of some topics. Certain things we're not going to really talk. We're not really like talking about it, but kind of yes and no. We're talking about certain things. Like I said, we're gonna get into more depth. We're gonna
Yeah,
We're
I wonder when these psychos are actually going to get Nuremberg 2.0. But then again, that's just my thought processes.
right.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much, Elena. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
no problem. But like I said, I told everybody we're gonna have Pena back on again another time when because one day I'm gonna be on for a little bit longer because it's been kind of hard to stay. I haven't been staying on my lives as long like I usually do.
Hold on,
So,
considering that that procrastination is one of my worst habits, and so because of that, as well as forgetfulness, because of my habits, I
oh
have
yeah.
a tendency to not
Well,
remember.
but like I said,
Other things to
yeah.
All Saints Day is on Monday.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Oh, thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it, guys. Make sure you follow Jacob Waters too. I did an interview with him and Through the Veil, and this is my third one with Penis Perspective. So make sure you follow all these great guys and survive with everybody that's in here tonight.
But definitely find Jacob Waters. His show is off the rails. Definitely.
But like I said, guys, Pena will be back again on my panel one day. We're gonna get into Jesus Little Soldier. Oh, Natalie's here. I don't know if you know Nat. Natalie!
Hello!
Hey,
Hi.
Molly, I don't know you,
Natalie,
but it's a pleasure, darling.
You know Natalie, right? You met her before? I don't know if you met her or not. This is Jesus Little Soldier, Natalie. She's from the UK. That's Pena.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing my bad British accent. I'm sorry. I guess it was insulting. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Hello.
I have all kinds of accents, and I've got no accents because I. But anyway, how you doing today? And I love your name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, guys, this is Natalie. Just a little soldiers. Make sure you follow her. Guys, I'm gonna be on a little bit after 8:30. So because I'm going to, I have another engagement to attend to around 9 o'clock. So I'll be on till a little after 8:30. Then
Yep, you had mentioned that it was up until 8 free time and after 8 Colin. So Jesus Little Soldier, how you doing? What Natalie? I will get that down. I'm horrible with names and I apologize for that. Things are bloody rough out there, aren't they, love?
Yeah.
I mean, you're like completely locked down. You have the entire show me your papers, please. Type
No,
they're not locked down anymore.
No.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
We don't even have to wear masks anymore.
Do what?
We don't even have to wear masks.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, actually, we didn't have to in the very beginning.
Can you guys take over for like 2 minutes? I just gotta get something to drink.
Yeah.
No, it's yours. You have to be here the entire time. No,
I gotta get to drink.
No key breaks.
Natalie, behave yourself.
No, you gotta be on there. I'm going to make sure that in those 5 minutes you're gone, I'll get your YouTube channel taken down by saying all the wrong things.
I'll be back.
The Kathy rocks.
And I'm going to flash my boobs. I'm only joking.
Behave yourself, Natalie.
I should say that.
Pena, don't ask why. It's a long story. I'll tell you that another day. She'll tell you that another day. I'll be back.
Okay. So, Natalie, talk.
Yep. How are you?
I'm doing good. What part of England are you from?
Nottingham.
Nottingham. Okay, so I'm confusing it with two different things. I think I heard Northington, but
Nottingham. Just think of the
sheriff. That's what I heard before. At first, I'm like, Nottingham. Isn't that Robin Hood?
Yep, Robin Hood. Yeah.
All right. With the crazy king, I don't know. I watched. He was a lion to me, so I don't remember. King Richard was a good guy.
King John was the bad one.
John, that's it. Yeah. Nottingham. So yeah, that's a beautiful area. Actually, I haven't been there. I sent my parents off there. I had a timeshare at one point, and we were able to switch timeshares from one place and use it somewhere else. So my parents were able to go to England, and they got a castle there in Nottingham, and
they got caves all under Nottingham.
Yeah, and so they were actually to spend a nice week out there and see the countryside. They said it was absolutely wonderful, all green and everything else. So I've never been out there. I would love to. Watch lots of movies about England. Scotland as well. But so, unfortunately, I was thinking that you guys were under some of the most, but then again, one of the worst places to be right now, evidently, is Australia or New Zealand. So, evidently, England has gotten better. Another question that I would have that I dare not ask, lest it bring problems for our dear Elena. However, I have a question. Has life gotten more violent in London over the last? When did they start that? 5 years, maybe 8. When did they start that strange immigration policy that just changed the face of England? Or at least that's my perception of it. I might be completely wrong. So, illuminate me, please.
Well, basically, a lot of people are coming to England for the benefits.
No, obviously. I mean, we've got Pakistani doctors, and that's the old joke for the longest time as well. So yeah, but does England really need that many people? Because they're letting people in from just about everywhere. I mean, if you're part of
England can't cope with that many immigrants. To be honest, we're chock a block. We're full enough.
I imagine.
There's not enough housing, you know what I mean? There's not enough houses for everybody.
Well, obviously.
England's a little island, isn't it?
And it's not that big of an island either, but there's and it's all concentrated on certain areas. I've got a cousin of mine who's working for a company doing modular housing. To where it would be feasible to build housing for individuals that would be more affordable and that sort of thing. But then again, wherever you guys are allowed to build, you've already built. My kung fu teacher was a Nigerian he was born in Nigeria, but his father immigrated to England when he was young, and so he was part of the British Olympic team for Kung Fu, and he decided to study architecture in the University of Texas. And so that's where I met him at the University of Texas, and he was Kung Fu. I love martial arts, so I started, taking classes with him. He lived in the same building as I did and that sort of thing, so it was a good thing. So that reminded me of how many different kinds of people just show up in England willy-nilly. If you're from India, you can go to England. If you're from Nigeria, if you're from Pakistan, if you're from, Hong Kong, you can go to England or any in the Commonwealth. And many from Hong Kong decided to go to Canada, which is why Canada is now basically an extension of China. But that's a whole nother story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
in St. Anne's, where I live, in Nottingham, it's like all the pubs have closed and we've got notebook bloody. It's like the Muslims have took over, you know what I mean? It's like there's no pubs anymore. No.
Why? Because the Muslims can't drink.
No.
Well, have you ever heard of a Brit that doesn't drink? That just doesn't happen.
Us English, we want to keep our pubs. We like our pubs. We want to keep our pubs.
I mean, half of Henry V was about a pub owner, that was Henry's friend. He was a pub owner and a thief, unfortunately, which is why the king had to hang him at the end of the book.
Yeah, we don't want
that's in the book, Henry V. It's Shakespeare. Just read Shakespeare or watch the movie. Either way.
Yeah.
Wonderful movie. Kenneth Branagh's version of Henry V. Fantastic movie. I had to watch it 3 times just to get past the accent and be able to understand the nuance. I mean, the first time you see it, you see the general details and everything else. The second time you see it, you start noticing some things that you didn't see before. And the third time you watch it, you actually start understanding the jokes. Now, that is when I started laughing at Shakespeare. That's when I was like, I finally got this guy. I finally understood. And it took me forever. And so, yeah, England is a great place. And tea time. We have crumpets at 5:00 because of, or I'm assuming it's 5. I might be wrong.
Mhm.
What time is tea time?
6 o'clock
Mhm.
in the
6 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, we just call it dinner over here.
Well, see, I always thought it was like an afternoon break or something like that, to where you're doing your things, and let's just take a break for tea, and then you gotta have supper, and then you have dinner. Or if it's not tea, you take your break for wine, because I always take a break for wine.
Speaking
That's
of
all.
wine, Natalie.
That's brandy.
Oh, Brandon. Oh, good.
Ooh,
Natalie.
even better. Holy cow, that's got a kick to it.
Natalie.
Brandy and Coke.
Natalie.
Woohoo!
Don't start.
Party.
I'm all right. I'm not drunk yet. I'm not lightweight. I'm not a lightweight.
Take you down to Mexico, and we can have some Cuba Libres. Woo!
Right?
Party time.
Hey guys, I'm gonna ending it in 5 more minutes. So
Yeah. I could drink any man under the table. I could.
Hold on. Let's cheers, mate.
Yep.
Cheers.
All righty. There we go.
Yeah, 5 more minutes, guys. About 8:35, and then
All right. So, Natalie, what would you like to know about Brazil or Mexico or physics, for that matter? I don't know. Or even biblical, considering that's the thing that I'm also Jesus' little soldier. So,
What kind of food do you eat in Brazil?
beaners. No, we all like beans. Oh, really? They love rice and beans down here. And so, yeah, that is a staple down here. However, one of the things that allowed me to stay, I'm from Texas, and my grandfather has a farm, and so we had 100 head of cattle. So I have to have meat. If there ain't meat in the society, I can't do it. So I would have a problem with India. But here in the south of Brazil, they got some great steak. Fantastic steak, grass-fed, and it's just it's just wonderful, and it melts in your mouth. So yeah, people have a tendency on the weekends, they'll get together, drink beer, and eat meat, and that's what they do. They don't have money for much else, but at least those little things that other people can't even afford, those things they can do.
Yeah, in England we have venison in plum sauce.
You are what?
We have venison, which is a baby deer.
No, but venison is much better. I mean,
it's
sweeter, livelier flavor. I mean, venison is excellent. I had that when I was in Germany, because I was actually amazed. I'm like, wow, venison. I hadn't tried it, so I like to try new things. And so when we were we weren't in Frankfurt. We were outside Stuttgart, if I'm not mistaken, and they had the venison on the menu, and so I tried it. It is wonderful stuff. Yes, venison is good stuff.
Okay, Survivor Girl. She said she's gonna go live later, guys. That's
okay.
The link right there.
Okay, well, I'll go back to see that. You told me that that's an interesting one, and you like to watch it every Wednesday. Is that she goes live every Wednesday?
Who? Survivor Girl?
No. Who were? Oh, you were going to be watching somebody here in about half an hour.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be getting also. Yeah, Through the Veil, guys. Through the Veil.
Oh, Through the Veil. Through the Veil.
Yeah, make sure you Oh yeah, Veil's listening. Hi, Veil. Love you.
All righty. So we're all there. But yeah, the food down here. We have fast food. There is McDonald's. There is
here's the thing that Survivor Girl said, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Pena. Isn't that funny that vegetarians eat meat, even though cows are vegetarians, and all they eat is grass? Basically, they are grass. Okay.
Vegetarians eat meat? I don't get that. How do vegetarians eat meat?
No, they eat meat even though cows are vegetarians. I guess cows eat the vegetables, the graze. I guess that's what she's trying to say.
So she's saying that meat eater carnivores are vegetarians because what we eat is.
I guess that's what I'm assuming. That's what she's trying to say.
She inverted. What's Democrats do? She inverted everything. She twisted it and got it wrong. That's okay. I corrected her.
Okay, I got you. I love you. Thank you, Survivor. I know what she's trying to. No, Natalie, we're not getting too much politics, so we're trying to use code, say it a different way. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I got you.
But yeah, and I touched the third rail again. So it is what it is. But the food down here is actually wonderful. And one of the things, whenever I was trying to figure out about eating and what you can, what you can't. There was this nutritionist that had a channel on one of the ones that I watch, and one of the things that he was mentioning, look, you can focus on meat, no meat, vegetables, lots of fat or sugar or whatever. You can pick and choose whatever you want, but basically the healthiest way for you to eat is to make your own food. Because when you go to a restaurant, the restaurant wants to make money. So one, they're going to give you larger portions so that you'll eat more and come back. Second of all, they're going to put lots of sugar, lots of oil, and lots of salt into the food because those things stimulate our animal brain. It says, those are good. I want to eat more. And the more you eat of that, the more harm comes to you. So basically, the secret to eating healthy is make your own food, because you make sure that you put that smidgen of salt that you want. If you want a little bit of sugar, fine, but you know that you don't exaggerate. Whenever we look at a bottle of Coke, it is 2/3 sugar and 20% caustic acid. So it's like none of those things are good, but yet we love it and we drink it. And I'm not complaining. I used to drink 2 liters of Dr. Pepper before lunch every day. Okay. If I had a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper, it'd be gone in an afternoon. That's just, I loved it. I grew up. The largest soda consumption in the world is the U.S. The second largest consumer of soda is Mexico, and the third largest consumer of soda on the planet is Brazil. So I happen to be living in the 3 countries that most consume soda, and yet my kids.
Girl.
Huh?
No, she said she was a typo. She meant to say something else.
Oh yeah, I get that. I get that. No worries. No worries.
Anyway, guys. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna end the stream because I gotta head over to where I gotta head over.
You got people to do and things to see.
Right. There you go. But listen, guys, I would have stayed a little bit longer. I would have.
Do what?
You're going to see a man about a dog. That's
okay. Okay, now.
All right.
Well, but like I was
gotta
saying,
get the wax out of my ears. But anyway.
Thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for Natalie coming in. She's a little soldier. Thanks for Jacob coming in. Appreciate it. Both of their
girl, much
Pena's
love.
perspective, guys. If you don't have Pena's perspective, make sure you follow him, please. This is an interview we just finished our interview with him. So if you want to go back and check it out later,
and go to Jacob Waters' channel. If you want to see me, go over to Jacob's channel because you can see me there more often.
Follow Natalie, Jacob, anyone that was in here. If you like everybody, what you see.
Everybody's got their own channel. You got a channel. You got a channel. You got a channel. You got a channel. Everybody's got a channel.
Well, Peter, thank you for coming up. Everybody, love you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys during the week sometime, maybe over the weekend or before the weekend's out. So love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Good night, everybody.